development for 15 years, which feels really weird to say, but it's the truth. And the biggest takeaway is, it's all about relationships. So the story that I'm going to tell, I am changing the names of people and companies to protect the innocent, perhaps myself. So this story centers around my early aircraft engine account called Fly Alaska. First, who here has been to Alaska before? Yeah. It's a pretty unique part of the world with very remote cities, and it's very heavily dependent on air travel. Fly Alaska is a big player up there and also a very big customer to me. But they really rely on transactional deals, so that means you really have to stay on your toes to keep getting the business. And our goal is always more business, not less. So now picture this. I'm about to go on my 3rd trip to Alaska in February for a trade show, go visit some hangars, and it also includes a big presentation for Fly Alaska. Right before, I'm still back here in Winnipeg, my colleague and fellow traveler, Luke, comes running up to me super excited. Pamela, after the trade show, Mike has invited us to join him to his cabin for the weekend. It's gonna be great. It's gorgeous, it's huge, it'll be great team building. So Mike, the guy at the cabin, is the boss of Fly Alaska. So fellow Toastmasters, this sounds like a really great opportunity, wouldn't you agree? So I pack some extra winter gear and then I fly up to Anchorage. Luke meets me at the airport, and that's when things start getting a little bit interesting. He says, "Hey, what's with all the extra gear?" I say, "It's for our cabin weekend." He's like, "You're coming?" And I'm like, "Wasn't I invited?" "Yeah, but I didn't think you were actually gonna come. It's very remote, there's no running water, it's just an outhouse. You're gonna be the only female." Toastmasters, at this point, I was wondering if I should have just stayed home, but what can I do? More business, not less. So we attend the trade show as planned, and Luke, the ever problem solver, has quickly regroups. We're all still going to the cabin, because I was invited after all, but we would be joined by Mike, who's like the burly, stoic boss man of Fly Alaska, Dawson, his laid-back, a little bit more fun-loving manager, and Dawson's girlfriend, Mariah, who has nothing to do with business, but does happen to be female. So once the trade show is done, we head to the cabin for the weekend adventure. Who here has been on a skidoo before? Okay, I hadn't been until this moment. So I'm operating my own snow machine, following these wild Alaskans out into this remote cabin. And I'll admit, it was pretty cool actually. The air was crisp, the sun was super bright. I was going full throttle down the trail while the Alaskans are bouncing through the powder beside me. It was actually pretty fun. So we finally arrive at the cabin, and I'll admit, it was gorgeous, super gorgeous. It was on a frozen lake, there's snow-covered trees, it was very postcard. But then we stepped inside. So I'm a very outdoorsy person, and I've done a lot of remote camping before, but this cabin situation, this is a business situation, and this cabin is casual. It's very open concept. There's a wood stove, there's a little living area. There's room for everyone to sleep, but just with sheets for walls. So throughout the night, I could hear all the sounds of men sleeping. All the sounds. I'm starting to wonder if team building is survival exercise. From there, we spend the weekend on snow machines, touring around, shooting guns, because when in Alaska, on the final night, Mike was pretty happy until he's not. Luke and Dawson have gotten into some good cheer, we'll call it, and are getting exceptionally loud. Mariah's like dancing like on a makeshift dance floor. Suddenly, Mike is full bear mode. He tells everyone to wind it up and go to bed. Ugh. So everyone does go to bed, and I can hear the snoring. And my bunkmate, Mariah, is still super awake and buzzing. And I'm shushing her, trying to contain her so she doesn't wake anyone up. And then she does the unthinkable, and she touches the hot wood stove. Surprisingly, she doesn't make a sound, even as I am screaming on the inside. I quickly shuttle her to her bed, and then I run outside to get some snow. Then I go back to her and put snow on her hand and get her settled. And I was just like, oh my goodness, we cannot wake up Mike, especially after he's done his big wind it down speech. But anyways, somehow I go to sleep and my mind is just racing. Have we just thrown away our biggest account for a wild weekend? The next morning, Mike is pretty quiet for the drive home. We even stopped for pie, but I can't enjoy it because I'm like, did we just lose our biggest customer? Luke and I fly home. We're back at the office the next day. And then I see an email comes from Mike, and he's copied in all of the bosses. So I read the email. Okay, Mike appreciated our time. He's impressed with our commitment. Oh my goodness, get this, and I can't believe it, he's open to more business, not less. Yes. So what did we learn from this Alaskan adventure? Number 1, flexibility is key. Sometimes you have to go outside your comfort zone. Number 2, transparency and quick problem solving are essential. 3, genuine connections can often happen in the most unexpected moments. It wasn't our polished presentation that we did for Fly Alaska that impressed Mike, but it was our ability to adapt and be authentic. So in the end, business relationships are all about building trust and showing resilience, and sometimes navigating a snowmobile through the Alaskan frontier and trying not to lose your cool or your clients. And the final takeaway is always aim for more business and not less.